Yo, YouTube, it's your boy J Steph, man. We at it with another UK Dro documentary, learning about these gang beefs, alright? Now, we are going to take this shit to Lewisham, alright? This is the deadly divide in Lewisham. This is 814 versus Monson. I've heard of 814, haven't heard of Monson before, so about to learn something new today. Be sure to tap that link down below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, this is UK Dro Plug. Shout out, bro. And we about to lock in, man. Let's get it.
We are traveling to South London, more specifically, the London borough of Lewisham, which is an area based within the southeast of London, and is one of the 32 larger boroughs that make up London. Lewisham is well known for its shopping centre, as well as its high street, and as of 2022, the population within the London borough of Lewisham was recorded at just under 300,000 residents currently living in and around the borough of Lewisham. What a lot of these residents are unaware of, however, is the long-standing gang feuds that have been playing out in the streets of Lewisham. Within the last few years, however, the underground drill scene in Lewisham has been on the rise, with gangs like B-Side releasing legendary UK drill songs, as well as Monson and 814. These last two gangs, Monson and 814, actually having a dangerous and deadly rivalry with one another, resulting in multiple murders, stabbings, and shootings taking place within the streets of Lewisham. This being the rivalry I will be discussing today. Now, whilst this gang feud can get quite confusing, I will do my best at explaining the rivalry between both 814 as well as Monson, and what led to groups of teenagers from two completely different areas within the London borough of Lewisham beginning to rival with one another. However, I won't really be talking about the older generation of each gang that much, as this video mainly focuses on the most recent beef between both Monson and 814. Before I start this video, however, YouTube says only 5% of you are subscribed, so if you enjoy this content, feel free to subscribe as it helps out the channel. Without further ado, sit back and enjoy this video.
Not waiting on that.
Now, in this video,
niggas talking about some YouTube Premium. Hell nah.
Now, in this video,
bruh, that is not where I was at.
Now, whilst this gang feud can get quite confusing, I will do my best at explaining the rivalry between both 814 as well as Monson, and what led to groups of teenagers from two completely different areas within the London borough of Lewisham beginning to rival with one another. However, I won't really be talking about the older generation of each gang that much, as this video mainly focuses on the most recent beef between both Monson and 814. Before I start this video, however, YouTube says only 5% of you are subscribed.
Alright, let's go.
What if your morning is just easier?
That originated around the Milton Court Estate, which is also known as the Woodpecker Estate, and has even coined the name the Ghetto Estate, this being in the SE14 postcode. The Ghetto Boys originated around the 1970s and 80s. In the 1990s, the younger generation of the Ghetto Boys went on to go by the name the Younger Ghetto Boys, and even the Younger Ghetto Boys, or YYGB. In the 1990s, the Woodpecker Estate went through a redevelopment, leading to a lot of the people living in the estate being rehoused in areas like Catford and other surrounding areas. Now, around 2005 and 6, internal conflict began to occur within the Ghetto Boys gang, and following the murders of prominent members, the Ghetto Boys from Catford then split off from the bigger Ghetto Boys gang and created a new alliance of gangs which later became known as Anti-Shower, this opposing the Ghetto Boys, who later became known as Shower. The Ghetto Boys gang split into new gangs, like the Ghetto Boys from Deptford, the Ghetto Boys from New Cross, and the Ghetto Boys from Lewisham. This Shower gang consisting of a lot of the original Younger Ghetto Boys members. The Shower Alliance is predominantly based around the original Woodpecker Estate, although it does supposedly draw members across the wider New Cross and Deptford areas. Now, the current generation of this gang go by 14th, as they are from the SE14 postcode, whilst the allied members from Deptford are known as 8th, as they are from the SE8 postcode. During the mid-2010s, however, the gangs became more commonly known as 814, combining the postcodes of each area, these being SE8 and SE14. The current generation of this 814 crew has a rivalry with Monson, SG, and M20, whilst they are affiliated with B-Side. Rappers associated with 814 and the Ghetto Boys include Showkey, Mdot, and Mdot. If you would like an in-depth video on the Ghetto Boys, however, let me know in the comments below.
Oh, so that's where Dig Dat is from. Okay.
Now, Monson, or GST, which is supposedly an acronym for Gateside Thugs, is a large street gang based around New Cross within the SE14 postcode. The gang is situated around the Somerville Estate, among others, as well as Monson Road. It's believed that the Monson gang was formed around 2007 and was originally known as the Monson Blood Set, with it being known that this gang took heavy inspiration from the Bloods in Los Angeles, and were often spotted repping red bandanas. During this time, the Monson gang was actually neutral within the infamous Peckham Boys and Ghetto Boys rivalry, which saw many murders, shootings, and stabbings, and was even the subject of Rap Man's Blue Story. Anyways, it's rumored, however, that Monson began to rival the Ghetto Boys after they became affiliated with the anti-shower movement, which was an opposed to the shower gangs. So for simplicity's sake, the Shower Alliance included Ghetto Boys from Deptford, SE8, and Show, or Shower from New Cross, SE14, whilst the Anti-Shower Alliance included the Crews, Monson Blood Set from New Cross, SE14, CWC, or Catford Wildcats from Catford, SE6, and finally Ladywell from SE4 and SE13. This Anti-Shower Alliance meant that Monson would now beef the Ghetto Boys, this beef later being passed down to younger generations when the 814 gang became more prominent instead of the Ghetto Boys, and the Monson gang becoming more prominent than the Monson Blood Set. Anyways, nowadays Monson are often referred to as MT14 or M-Town, as well as GST or Gateside Thugs, and prominent members of the Monson crew include D-Trap, RK, and No Breaks. Now, you may be confused as to what occurred that then eventually led to teens from two completely different areas beginning to have a bloody and deadly feud with one another. Now, the Ghetto Boys were originally most known for their rivalry with Peckham, although during this time, internal conflict occurred within the Ghetto Boys crew. This caused a spillover effect in Lewisham, resulting in gangs originally aligned with the Ghetto Boys creating an alliance known as Shower, this including the Ghetto Boys from Deptford, SE8, and from SE14, and only streets away, another alliance was formed, this going by Anti-Shower, as I'm sure you can guess. This was an alliance that directly opposed Shower. Both of these alliances then meant that now Monson was in a beef with 814, or the Ghetto Boys. It's believed that the rivalry between 814 and Monson, or the Monson Blood Set, wasn't that bloody at first. However, this would all change following the brutal murder of a Ghetto Boys or Shower member, resulting in the Monson and 814 beef escalating into a dangerous and bloody gang war.
Hi, we're Visible. We offer one-line wireless plans with no hidden fees for just $25 a month on Verizon's.
On the 3rd of May 2010, 3 members of the Monson Blood Set gang would travel onto the Milton Court Estate, also known as the Woodpecker Estate, this being an estate notorious for the Ghetto Boys. At around 8:30 p.m., Jamal Green, Curtis Quashie, and Bosun Sode, all belonging to the anti-shower crew known as the Monson Blood Set, would notice 21-year-old Nathan Allen, or Mace, who was a well-known associate of the Shower gang. Upon noticing Mace, the Monson members chased him through the Milton Court Estate, before shooting him multiple times in the chest, fleeing seconds later. Mace managed to stumble toward a nearby house where he called an ambulance, telling the dispatcher, "I have been shot. In my lung I can't breathe. Quick." The line then went dead. Sadly, by the time emergency services could arrive on the scene, Mace was pronounced dead at around 9 p.m. in the garden of a 72-year-old resident's home. A murder investigation was then launched, with all 3 defendants being arrested and charged, although this trial would prove to be quite complicated, but I'll do my best at explaining it. It's believed that the incident that subsequently ended in Mace's shooting was a result of when a motorcycle drove dangerously close to a woman and her 3-year-old daughter. It's believed this woman then phoned one of the defendants blaming Mace and a friend for the reckless driving. The 3 defendants then drove to the estate later that day, originally seeking out a 14-year-old boy at around 8 p.m. This 14-year-old seeking refuge in a shop. Before the defendants then left, Nathan Allen, or Mace, was shot dead moments later.
So you niggas went to go kill a 14-year-old boy because he drove too close to a mother and a baby? I mean, I get it. That's wild. But you ain't have to go look for him to kill him, though. Like, why? Like, what?
Later, 2 of the defendants were jailed for 17 years, whilst the final man was given life with a minimum of 24 years after his fingerprints were found on a silver gun, a few weeks after the fatal shooting. Rest in peace, Nathan Allen, or Mace. Following this murder, gang members on both sides of the rivalry began to create road raps, posting them on YouTube, with a video even resurfacing from around this time on the UK drill subreddit, portraying a young teen hanging around Monson gang members and claiming the batch. What makes this situation even crazier, though, is the fact that this young member shown within the video would allegedly go on to kill one of 814's most prominent members, as pointed out by commenters. In November 2010, Monson Blood Set rappers Y Dange, Sykes, and Young Josh would link up and release a hood rap video titled Red Rum, this gaining around 20,000 views and is still surprisingly available on YouTube. If anything, this showed that the Monson Blood Set was taking advantage of the road rap era, releasing a few more songs which have since been lost to time. The Ghetto Boys would also be making noise in the music scene around this time. However, a younger offshoot gang gang would make the most noise in the streets following Mace's death, this being 814. At the beginning of 2015, new young rappers began to make noise within the UK drill scene, these including Showkey, Mdot, and Slimzy from the 814 gang releasing a track titled Reckless in January 2015. The trio dropped a track titled Federally in April 2015, with this Federally track gaining a crazy 1 million views, really shining a spotlight on this rapping trio, as well as the 814 gang. Showkey then released a music video to his track titled No More Amigos, with this song once again garnering loads of attention, sitting on 1 million views. Showkey and Mdot then released the audio for their song No Hook on Mixtape Madness in September 2015. Sadly, however, only a year later, both Showkey and Mdot would sadly be killed in two separate incidents that resulted in the 814 gang fading out of relevance. Now, it's believed that sometime in 2015, an alleged associate of the 814 gang known as Slits would move to Birmingham from Lewisham, supposedly starting to distance himself from the roads. It's rumored, however, that in December 2015, he was sadly stabbed to death by someone. Now I say that it's rumored, as it's known that Slits was killed in Birmingham in December 2015. Whilst researching for this video, however, I did stumble across this article which reads, Murder inquiry launched after 15-year-old fatally stabbed in Smethwick. This 15-year-old was later named as Jamar Walker. Rest in peace, Slits, or Jamar Walker. Slits was remembered in Showkey's Black Box Freestyle, which was released on February 14th, 2016. Within this song, he rapped, Like Jay was my bro, it was more than a friendship, and life's short, but yours shouldn't have ended, as well as can't believe I've lost Slits. It was me, him and T, pedal bikes on the strip. Like karma's a bitch, can't believe that I've lost Jay. I know you're looking down, but I'ma link you up one day. Showkey then released a track featuring A1 from the 9 in February 2016. This being titled Pounds and Notes, as well as a Mad About Bars freestyle, which sits on around 2.5 million views, just showing that Showkey was one of the most promising rappers at the time, arguably being ahead of his time, only being 16 years old in 2016. Showkey and Mdot both previewed a track titled Big Brook in March 2016, planning to release at the end of April 2016. However, sadly, just days before this could release, Mdot was stabbed to death by members of the rival Monson gang.
Strawberries in springtime go hand in hand. Now at Hardee's, they come together with a hint of...
On the 3rd of April 2016 at around 7:40 p.m., police and emergency services were called to reports of a brawl that included around 10 teenagers. Upon arriving on New Cross Road, 17-year-old Myron Yard, or Mdot, who hailed from the 814 crew, was suffering multiple stab wounds to the leg, with severe bleeding as during the attack his femoral artery was slashed. Mdot was treated on the scene, before being airlifted to a nearby hospital, where he was sadly pronounced dead minutes later. A murder investigation was then launched, with 2 teens being arrested only streets away, as well as 5 other teenagers in the days after his murder. Now, during the trial, it came out that the reason that Mdot was stabbed was due to a bike theft that had occurred in the hours before the brawl. It's even believed that Showkey was meant to be a witness at the trial. However, he was sadly killed only months later. In the end, however, 3 teenagers being 16 years old at the time of the sentencing, as well as a 19-year-old known as Fowz Richards or Maggie, would be sentenced to a combined total of 37 years. Maggie receiving 13 years. Now, if you remember, Maggie was spoken about earlier, as he had featured in a Monson music video when he was around 12 years old. Rest in peace, Myron Yard, or Mdot. Gigs from Peckham went on to tribute Mdot only a day after his passing, which if anything just shows how prominent he was within the UK drill scene at the time. Showkey also then showed his love to Mdot in a track titled Letter to Mdot, which I am sure you can tell that this song was a tribute to Mdot. Within this track, Showkey showed love to both of his closest friends, who had sadly fallen victim to the streets. It's even alleged Showkey was meant to be a witness in the trial, but would sadly end up dying only a few months following the murder of Mdot. Rest in peace, Slits and Mdot. At the end of July 2016, Showkey would preview a trailer to his upcoming Daily Duppy freestyle, this later being released on the 4th of August 2016. He then previewed a track featuring OFB rapper Abracadabra, this just showing that Showkey was one of the most well-known rappers at the time, even getting a shout-out from Dave in his extremely viral Thiago Silva track, which has since garnered 60 million views. Within the track, Dave rapped S with the S from the S, ask Showkey Dustman down with a mask like Toby, this being something Showkey went on to celebrate on Instagram, and whilst it looked as if Showkey was going to blow up in the UK drill scene, sadly, listeners would be surprised when only one day after releasing his Daily Duppy, news began to circulate that he was murdered at a house party. On the 5th of August 2016, only one day after releasing his daily Duppy freestyle, 16-year-old Showkey or Leandro Osmaki as well as 200 other teens would attend a house party hosted by a 16-year-old girl in Peckham. Around 25 seconds after arriving at the house party, a 15-year-old from the SNR gang based in Peckham got into an argument with Showkey, sadly ending in 16-year-old Showkey being stabbed twice in the chest. The attacker then fled and jumped a fence, running home. Police and emergency services were then called to the scene, with some partygoers even recording the aftermath of the stabbing. Sadly, however, 30 minutes after arriving at the party and being attacked, Showkey was pronounced dead on the scene. A murder investigation was then launched, with the news that Showkey had died flying around the internet before he was even identified in the news. A 15-year-old boy was arrested 2 days after in connection to the murder and was charged with Showkey's murder. In the end, however, after a full trial, the 15-year-old claimed self-defense, being acquitted of the murder in 2017. Rest in peace, Showkey. Dave actually went on to tribute Showkey, taking to his Instagram writing, "Rest in peace, Showkey. On a level, you were the hardest, so much talent, so much potential. I don't even know what to say. Prayers for your family." He even mentioned the incident in a track released on his Game Over EP, this being titled My 19th Birthday. On this track, he rapped, "In a weird way, summer is the coldest season. You'll get killed at a party for the smallest reason. One day you're chilling in secondary. Next day, your right hand's a memory." He also tweeted following hearing the news that Showkey had passed. Since Showkey's death, his killer has done multiple interviews sharing his side of the story. His killer has even been known to make music under the SNR name, gaining thousands of views. It's even believed that if Showkey was still alive today, he would have become one of the most influential UK drill rappers in the scene, possibly being bigger than rappers like Russ Millions and Digga D. Now, around this time following the deaths of 814's most prominent rappers, new rappers began to focus on music instead of the gang life. A prime example of this being Mdot, who had previously repped the 814 gang before eventually distancing himself and focusing on music. He released a track titled Sales and Joints at the beginning of 2018, following this up with Tactics in July 2018, with this track amassing around 2.4 million views. However, these views wouldn't be much in comparison to what Mdot would release next, this being a song titled Air Force in August 2018. This song instantly blowing up and currently sitting on around 38 million views and 45 million Spotify streams, blowing Mdot up into the mainstream UK rap scene. Although nowadays, he isn't as prominent as he was in 2018 and 19. Lil Mdot would be one of the last rappers from the 814 gang, releasing a track titled Message Sent following Showkey's death. Within this track, he showed love to both Showkey and Mdot, and whilst it looked as if Lil Mdot could be the next biggest rapper from 814, in 2020, he would end up on the other side of the law, fighting a serious charge. On the 14th of March 2020, at around 11 p.m., Lil Mdot would be riding around on his bike and would notice 21-year-old Ahmed Torfi, or Ace, outside of a takeaway shop. Lil Mdot then got into a heated argument with Ahmed Torfi, before going on to retrieve a blade that he had concealed in a plastic bag, stabbing Ahmed Torfi twice in the heart. Lil Mdot then fled the scene, leaving his bike, whilst Ahmed Torfi and his brother chased after him. Ahmed was rushed to hospital by his brother. However, his brother's car was then stopped by police, in which emergency services were called, leading to paramedics performing open heart surgery on the road. Ahmed Torfi was later transported to a nearby hospital, where he remained for over 8 months, sadly dying in 2021. An investigation was launched. However, it wouldn't be hard for police to connect the attacker to the crime scene, as Lil Mdot had created rap videos after the murder where he directly told the court he had done it, even rapping "I put A in A and E" in one of the freestyles. Lil Mdot was arrested and was charged with attempted murder, before being acquitted and charged with GBH, or grievous bodily harm.
I be telling y'all all the time, bro. Y'all make it easy for them. Y'all make it so easy for them, bro. You're on your phone, recording, saying you done this and this, that to man. Like, what? I'm not understanding.
In which he was sentenced to 14 years. He was then charged with murder, but as of most recently has been acquitted. Rest in peace, Ahmed Torfi,
he got
or
acquitted?
Ace. Now, it's not known if Ahmed Torfi was involved with the local gangs, with some people speculating that he was once a member of the Monson gang, and others stating he wasn't. His family also came out stating he was not in any gangs, and was sadly in the wrong place at the wrong time. Either way, however, rest in peace, Ahmed Torfi. My thoughts and prayers are with his friends and family. Now, as of most recently, the 814 gang has faced faded out of relevance within the UK drill scene, having little to no active rappers, although their rivals Monson have been somewhat consistent within the UK drill scene. Rappers like D-Trap, No Breaks, and 22 Joules dropping songs that gained tens of thousands of views. Sadly, however, in August 2023, 22 Joules would be killed by an alleged CT member from Clapham, who has since gone on to be arrested and charged with his murder. Rest in peace. Damn. 22 Joules was most known for his feature on the Monson-only remix released in September 2022. Now, since the murder of 22 Joules, no other incidents have really occurred within the streets, but I hope that all of the people involved in this beef can focus on music instead of the roads, as realistically this road life only—
Yeah, got a fact right there, my boy. I ain't gonna lie. This beef was kind of, it was definitely some tit for tat shit going on. It wasn't OD like OD cracking, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't OD cracking, but cool little documentary. Shout out UK Drill Plug, man. Be sure to tap that link down below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy J Steph, man. Until next time.